So my name is Omar Rampersad. It's 2:12 a.m., March 15, 2020. So I got up in pain and took my blood pressure measurements, and it's fluctuating. And I'll give you the numbers. But here is my air being tagged in bed as well. The nose. I heard the powers turned up because I was red alerted. So the experiment using microwaves in 25 Bamberg Circle is continuing. And I heard the account is with Rick. So the glands underneath the throat is inflamed right here. Notice my face is swollen right there. Oh, there is the tag. The thyroid. So these signals produces flu-like symptoms, all the symptoms of having a cold. And when the power is turned up, you get a really bad cold. You can get pneumonia. You get aches and pains. You can get a temperature because the heat increases the body temperature. All the symptoms of a cold. Now, given that we have coronavirus going around, if your nose starts running and you're feeling feverish and you're running a temperature and you're achy, then you would think that you had the coronavirus. And if you get pneumonia, well, you could die, basically, if you don't seek help. And if you're older and you get pneumonia, then you can die. So here is the blood pressure reading. And so the last four, 118/76, 128/79, 109/72, and 109/74. So the heart rate is 84, 77, 85, 82. So that's the top four. So the blood pressure, I got up. It went up to 128 from 118 in 2 minutes. Actually, 1 minute. So the breakdown of these signals, that's the RF reading. So the EF reading, which is next to it, this one here, gives a sustained pain. The RF reading gives sudden, sharp pains. And I got up with cramping pains in my stomach, ear, as you saw, eyes, nose, and you notice my face is swollen. The nose. So when this continues all night and the nose is caused the sinuses. You get up with stuffy nose, the sinuses would get inflamed, and it would look like or feel like you had a cold. So there. So the hand is tagged and the hand is burning right now. So active denial system type technology. Notice, yeah, there you go. Over, what was that, 1,000 plus. The air and jaw. And my eyes are hurting. Notice the RF reading, which causes the piercing pain into the ear, which of course will make you lose your hearing. So I heard the blacks are taking part in the monitoring. They've got the part of the contract. The Chinese have the contract. So I'm going to take my blood pressure one more time. And of course, my lips are all dry because these signals dry out your skin. So since the Chinese have the contract, and if it's global, then they have part of the contract. It's distributed by the cops. They would want to keep the contract because they're getting paid to do what they're doing. So now it's 113 over 67. And of course, absolutely no activity. I was in bed. So it was 109 over 74. Now it's 113 over 67, all over the place. So I'll take this camera off and give you a sample of the hand. Here is the hand. And the hand is hurting. So the blood pressure went from 109 over 74 to 113 over 67. So part of that is pain. And part of that is guessing a small heart palpitation. Take the hand away. Put the hand on the table. Bring it closer, 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 touching. Take the hand away. Further, touching. So very high electrical rating. So my knees were also being pulsed, the thighs, the knees, the ankles. So as soon as I lie down, I went to bed earlier on, the thighs started getting pulsed and between the legs. So, and the comments, make yourself available. The cops are coming. Well, there's a charge, and this time no bail, and something about loitering. So I heard somebody in the building wants to pick me up for loitering. So here is how that works. I'll give you an example of a setup in the building. I was walking out earlier on today, walking out of the building, and there was a Chinese lady, a little tiny Chinese lady, old, standing in the doorway with a foot propped up against the door. So the door was open, a foot was against it, or a hand keeping the door open. She was standing in the doorway, the exit to the outside of the building, and was talking to somebody. And I stood there for a few seconds and waited for her to close the door and get out of the way. She did not. She just continued talking. So I had to stand up and wait for her to finish talking. And that means that I would have to just be standing around. So while she was talking and I was waiting, instead of just standing around, because I know the lies being told, I read the notice board and learned that the recreational center was closed. So if somebody had called saying I was loitering, first of all, I was not loitering. I was waiting for her to get out of the way. And I was reading notice board. But the lies that's being told by PK and his team, and he said that he has people looking, and these are the types of things that would happen when he has people looking. And the lies being told by these people are what is being used to flag me with the cops who are helping PK run the experiment in the building. They're told to twist things around to make it look like something wrong is being done. They're told to do this by PK, who's running the experiment. It's part of the experiment. So if the Chinese are running this type of experiment in 25 Bamberg Circle, in Toronto, in Canada, in a so-called free society where we are not practicing communism, could you imagine what they're doing in China? You have to wonder whether the coronavirus is an experiment. You have to. because this is an experiment. I heard from PK and his friends who follow me around that God had me chipped to be followed around, to be monitored, because he couldn't find me. He had to go looking for me because he was subcontracting from the Chinese who had the contract to, to monitor me based on the flag, which was put next to my name based on their lies. It's an experiment. So if one experiment is being carried out here, are others being carried out by the Chinese as well, especially in China? Paranoid? I don't think so. So I'm going to take my blood pressure one more time. I could feel my face, the puffiness in my face. I could feel the energy on my skin when this happens. And the mouth is tagged. I could feel the energy on my, on my skin. And I just, and that's because my chest is tagged. That's my heart. So the blood pressure is 111/66. Oops. All over the place. I'm going to do it again because that reading, that lower number was quite low. And the blood pressure is dropping, 107/67. So it seemed to be leveled out. So it went from 109/74 to 113/67, 111/66, and 107/67. And of course, I'm sitting, so there's no activity. So the blood pressure is dropping. And the heart rate also dropped from 81 to 77. So I'm just going to do it a few more times, one more time on camera, and I'll just monitor it for a while before I go back to bed. I just got a sting on my head, and there it is right there. That's the sting right there. Oh, and I got an error message. So let's do it again. That's probably because I was moving my arm. The sensor is very sensitive on this monitor. And my nose is starting to run. That's because it's being pulsed. So 102/74. All over the place. So since I started 118 at 204, and then now it's 233. 118/76, 128/79, 109/72, 109/74, 113/67, 111/66, 107/67, 102/74. So I'm just going to stop there. So that's been 21 minutes, going on 22.